My name is Sinclair Fleming, CEO of P3 Paper Plastic Products. Every Wednesday, I answer real business questions that come in through WhatsApp from operators, founders, executives dealing with real decisions. No theory, no motivation, just actually how this works in real business life. If you're building, scaling, trying to avoid expensive mistakes, this series is for you. Now let's get into today's questions. So the question is, should you scale fast or wait till all your ducks are in a row? Okay, it's according to what you consider scaling. You have to have a vision for what you want your company to be, but getting your ducks in a row, you're probably never ready, right? Like, it's like having a kid. No one can ever tell you're ready for a kid until you have a kid. So we have a saying that we say at the company, which is perfection is the enemy of progress. So scaling too quickly may be that you have too many employees. It may be that you try to go out in too many locations. It may be that you don't have enough cash flow. We don't really know your personal situation, but economies of scale is normally something to achieve if you want that level of responsibility. Because as you grow, some of the costs remain the same. If you have a marketing manager, it's no different whether it's 5 locations or one, right? Your social media is doing all the work. So in terms of scaling, you should try to do it moderately based on your capacity, because the person that's leading the scaling normally has to have most of the ideas and most of the drive behind of it. So if you can't juggle a lot of things, or if you can't have solid people that can help you, partners or people you brought on, normally if you're scaling, you're not in the equity situation yet. So check on your capacity and your ability to juggle things, and then you'll see if that's something you want to do. But perfection is the enemy of progress. Don't let perfection stop you. If you do have a great opportunity on the table, try to grab it. If it's more than you can handle, don't do it, right? Like if McDonald's come to you tomorrow and says supply all of my stores, like you know you can't handle it, don't do it. You're gonna break your reputation. Try to get some smaller contracts, 1 or 2 steps above where you are, and then scale based on that so that you could get everything working. So the question is, why do some businesses fail, and should you be upset if you're one of them?
Yes.
We see this a lot in consultancy. People tie their personal self to the business, so they get very engulfed or ingrained with what the business is, and the business becomes them. So if the business fails, they feel like they themselves are not worth anything. So they're working a secondary job just to put money back into a business that doesn't provide anything for them. Sometimes that's good. Sometimes you just need to get through the pain so that you could get the reward, and sometimes you need to know when to stop. I don't know the personal situation or what business it is, but businesses fail for a lot of different reasons. The government could simply change some type of legislature, and it can change. New information can come out on some gluten-free something that's bad for you, and your whole business was predicated around this thing, and now no one wants to eat it because of a cultural shift. Or things like COVID. COVID killed a lot of businesses around here. It was just a cash flow issue, right? There's no one around to support your business. Bars and different entertainment stuff failed because of that. High interest. I know some of the major ones are money management and stuff like this, but a lot of times businesses fail for reasons beyond anything you could have expected to happen in that year. Like we had multiple category 5 hurricanes, and then 1 year later we had a 2-year COVID break. So there's a lot of different things that can cause businesses to fail, but the question of if you should feel bad about it, it will always feel bad because it's a dream that you had, is something that you wanted to do, it's something that you put a lot of energy into. You probably got your family and friends involved. At some point, you probably bragged on it or felt good about it, and it's kind of hard now to eat crow and let people know, well, okay, this didn't work out. But I would say, if you look at the optimistic side, when you were doing a business, it forced you to grow as a person. Some of the things you've learned, some of the people you've met, some of the opportunities you were able to have may not have came without that opportunity. So this setback could be a setup for a comeback, right? So it's either you decide you don't want to be in business anymore, or you just want to decide to take a break, get some type of traditional financing job, and then decide to move forward again. So in terms of if the business fails because of you, I can't say yes or no. Most of the times it's external factors, but businesses fail for a lot of different reasons, and you shouldn't feel bad because it's failed, but you should analyze why it's failed to make sure that the next thing you do don't go along that path. So the question is, should you apply for a loan or a line of credit?
Yes.
Okay, that's a situation. That's something that we can't really answer without a lot more information. But term loans are normally something that you use for fixed assets, property, expansion, and line of credit is something that you use for just in case, like liquidity issues, like you're running out of money, you supply your vendors. Your vendors need to be paid, but your customers haven't paid you yet. What I would say is, if you're gonna get a line of credit, try to get a revolving line. Normally what happens is, if you get the revolving line, say you get $100,000 revolving line and you spend 20, whenever you pay back the 20, you then have that 100,000 to spend again. With term loans, if you get a term loan for $100,000, when the money is over, it's over and that's it. So there's different percentages, there's different interests, there's different types of things you should do with those types of loans. For example, the term loans, you buy trucks and build warehouses, buy inventory, these type of things that normally takes a long time for you to get the money back, right? You normally get a 5 to 7 year period before you have to pay those back. With the line of credit revolving, in a matter of 1 year or a few months, according to how it's set up in your bank, that money has to be paid back or at least cycled through. At some point, it would have had to have been a zero balance at that point, right? We see people make a lot of mistakes. They get this line of credit, and for example, line of credits are resolves. Some people use credit cards. Credit card is a form of line of credit, but not traditional commercial line of credit. There's a lot of different types of line of credit as you go up the business scale, but most of the times people try to use them for liquidity, right? I've hired a new staff. I'm in China, and I see this deal that I need to make, but payroll is also tomorrow, and I don't have the cash to do both. So you dip into the line of credit or your resolve or whatever the case may be. The bank allows you to make these deals, obviously for a percentage. And as you make deposits, the bank takes back the money from whatever your thing is. So if you're already in business and you're going and you have good cash flow in your business, a revolving line of credit is the best type of thing, tied with credit cards as well that have a lot of bonus points. Therefore, you could get some travel and stuff like that. But you have to pay attention because the credit cards are normally 23-24% interest, where our revolving line of credit is probably 5 to 7%, 8%, according to the bank that you go to. Term loans, as you know, one time, one and done, 100,000, million, 10 million, doesn't matter. Once the money is over, it's over, and now it's your responsibility to pay it back. So line of credit is for if you're already moving and shaking. Term loan is to get the business to a different level. I don't encourage loans to start businesses. I don't like it. I don't think it's a good idea. And the banks like proof of concept. No one wants you to come to them with an idea and say, give me $500,000. It's like, no, I'm not doing that, right? Try to start with your own money, get some proof of concept, get some customers, get one SKU or provide one service to one person, get some level of revenue for more than 3 to 6 months. So at least the bank can see that someone is using your service. Someone trusts you enough to give you money to do something. So line of credit, I would say get that. Term is to do a big expansion. You need warehouses, forklifts, staff. You're setting up a new location somewhere else, something like this. And the line of credit is for liquidity. If you have a question you want covered, send it in. You can WhatsApp it to the number on the screen or message it through iMessage, Facebook, YouTube, or wherever you're watching this. The more detailed the questions, the better. My name is Sinclair Fleming. Now, go take action. I'll see you next Wednesday.